Okay, the Golden State Warriors are weird. And that's really all I can get from that last game. I've seen a lot of people jump the gun and say, "Oh, maybe they're just going to be terrible this season" and all of that. And I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. They played in the first game of a really weird season against a very good Brooklyn Nets team without one of their potentially most important pieces in Draymond Green. To me, that is not a harbinger of doom for their season. I just think they do have some things that they really need to figure out. First thing I want to address is their starting lineup choices were just odd. They played Steph Curry, three forwards, and James Wiseman. Why? Why? I mean, why? You look at. I guess you could call Kelly Oubre a guard. And to be fair, all three forwards are able to competently handle the ball and were given ball handling responsibilities, bringing the ball up the court, getting a rebound, pushing the break, that kind of stuff. But it seems a little bit odd. And then to consider the fact that they started Andrew Wiggins, who was just awful in that game. Like I don't understand how he could have looked good enough in training camp to warrant that, especially when Kent Bazemore came in the game, somebody who would maybe be more well suited to guarding smaller shooting guards. And Kent Bazemore, although he didn't put up stats, was playing pretty solid. And Wiggins was just he kept the ball in his hands for a long time. I don't know why Steve Kerr wouldn't be running things through Curry and Oubre because they were making things happen when they had the ball. Instead, there was a lot of Wiggins isolation. The Nets at times were just leaving him wide open because they knew he wasn't going to hit. And lo and behold, he'd take the shot and he'd miss. And yeah, he was just really bad. I liked what Stephen Curry showed. I mean, 20, 10, and 4 in a season opener is not bad, especially in one where he hasn't been playing for quite a while. And he looked solid. The shot was a little bit awkward to start, but he definitely picked it up as the game went on. And he looked confident. He looked like he was doing his Steph Curry thing. And even though Kelly Oubre's threes didn't drop, I really liked what he showed. I mean, my favorite thing about his style of play is that as soon as he's on the court, the team gains energy. His everything is just all about momentum, and he gives that to you even in a game where he only scores 6. Those 6 points were 3 dunks. One, a poster putback dunk. One, he drove the lane and threw it down around 2 or 3 people, and the other one was on a fast break. That's energy. That's really good. And when he had the ball in his hands, positive things seemed to be happening. I think Eric Pascal had a tough night, just matchup wise. I mean, your first game of the season is against KD, and that's just a bad matchup for him all around. So I'm looking for him to kind of do better as the season goes on. The other really weird thing about this starting lineup was starting James Wiseman. He's a guy who clearly has the physical talent to be in the league, but he only played a few games in college and didn't play a single preseason game. It seems to me like if you want to start off a season right and you're playing up against an experienced and very good opponent, playing a guy like, I don't know, Kevon Looney, who is definitely not as talented as Wiseman is, but is a guy that has played in the finals, played in multiple playoff runs. He has real experience. It seems like starting him so that you wouldn't go down 40 to 25 at the end of the first quarter seems like it would have been a much better decision. The majority of Wiseman's points and stats in general came in garbage time when Steve Kerr pulled Curry, pulled Oubre, and was just letting Damian Lee, Michael Mulder, Brad Wanamaker, and James Wiseman get some run out there. I can't say I was a huge fan of what I saw from Wiseman in the post. A lot of strong hook shots that did not go in, and he just didn't look entirely under control. And I think part of that is nerves, first NBA game, which is fair. But it seemed weird to start him, especially after he didn't play a single preseason game. So that was his first ever NBA action. Aside from the starting lineup, I thought a few guys off the bench did well. As I mentioned, it looked like Kent Bazemore was a positive, even though he didn't put up a ton of stats. I liked what Juan Toscano-Anderson was putting out there. High effort defense. You always want that kind of guy. Other than that, nobody was super special. But yeah, it was very strange. Now, another part of this that I think does matter, and I mentioned this in the intro of the video, is that Draymond Green wasn't playing. Now, he's coming off a bad season, which I'm not going to defend him for. But the amount of Draymond slander that exists on the internet is some. Because, yeah, he's not a star, and he really should never have been an all-star. He benefited from being on an amazing team. But he is a very good role player. And so when you get guys like Steph back, and he's going to be playing, Draymond will play better as well. And like Kelly Oubre, he's a momentum guy. He gets a steal or a block, and he'll start talking. The team will get up. Like that is something that he has consistently done in his career. And after going down 15 points by the end of the first quarter, you need guys that are able to come in and change the direction of the game. And I think Draymond would have been one of those guys, and he was just unavailable. I don't think if Draymond is back that he should start over Eric Pascal. I think he should come off the bench and be kind of a punch of energy off of that bench. But I do think missing him was problematic for them. And then the last thing that I noticed that just makes this team so weird is the lack of Steph Curry off-ball motion. One of the things that impresses me most about Curry is his ability to get free off-ball, even when people are so much trying to chase him off the line, deny. He finds ways to get open, and instead, he really had the ball to create his shots. And he's a good shot creator, but I think he's much better coming off screens, finding space, and shooting like that. He gets people on his hip much easier, and that's how I think, is most dangerous. And I understand that without Clay and obviously no KD anymore and no Draymond, you don't have as many playmakers that can allow him to spend time off the ball. But it seemed weird that it looked like they weren't even trying to get him a ton of off-ball opportunities. I guess I'll close this video by just saying, don't panic yet, Warriors fans. Like, you're not dead yet. This was game 1 against a good team. And on top of that, you probably were playing with an abridged game plan that was accounting for, Klay Thompson to be there, and there's no Klay Thompson anymore. But they definitely do have a lot of things to figure out.